The warm-up act is over. Let the headliner take the stage. It's time to start the march to a Big Ten title. And who better to start it against than the Big Bad Badgers? Even Urban Meyer called them the King. Can the unbeaten Buckeyes knock their crown off? Let's find out on The Football Fever.
Good evening, everyone. Along with Matt Finkus, I'm Douglas Sells, and what better way to begin our preview of tonight's Ohio State-Wisconsin game than to look back at the last time the Bucs and the Badgers played a night game at the Shoe. It became an instant classic. The two teams scored 4 touchdowns in the final 4.5 minutes, capped, of course, by the Hail Mary from Braxton Miller to Devin Smith with 20 seconds left on the clock to win it. 33-29. Matt, unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was a really special game. Obviously, I remember I was at this game. This was the signature win in Luke Fickell's kind of short coaching career there. But for me, Pat Fickell was sitting next to me in the stands, and just when that pass went in to Devin Smith, everyone just jumped on Luke's dad, and we were just so excited. And just a great win, a great atmosphere. It's always special at nighttime in the Shoe, and I think tonight will be no different.
And one of the players, actually, I see your helmet right in there, I think, Ben Buchanan, who played in that game. Tell us about the roller coaster, the emotional roller coaster of the last 4.5 minutes of that game, capped by that unbelievable play to win it.
Well, Doug, it's just like you said. I mean, it was up and down. It was a roller coaster. The play that everyone does remember is Braxton Miller rolling right, throwing it up to Devin Smith. I swear the ball was in the air for 10 minutes. It felt like it would not come down. Yes. It would not come down. And once it came down in his arms, it was just hysteria in that stadium. Yeah. Amazing.
Well, we'd love to have a great finish, but maybe not quite so nerve-wracking tonight.
No.
Let's bring in the other half of the Football Fever team. Clay Hall, Obi Stillwell, and Jimmy Bell join us from outside Ohio Stadium. Guys, the excitement is building.
Oh, there's no question about this, Obi. Let's do this. Big time. I know, big-time, meaningful game. There's no question about the winner really gets the inside track to the Legends division. I mean, this, you just do not get this for Florida A&M. There is a buzz in this town. Do you feel me?
I feel it.
There's two major questions tonight. Can the Bucs stop the Wisconsin run? And what do you get out of the returning starter, Braxton Miller, at quarterback?
You know what? I'll deal with stopping the run.
All right.
I had an awesome opportunity to speak with Ryan Shazier earlier today. I asked him a little bit about the front seven. I was like, how's the front seven going to handle this?
Right.
Young front seven. Ryan was almost offended. He was almost offended. He said, are you kidding me? He said, we feel like we go against the best offensive line in the country. I said, so for people to question if we will be able to handle Wisconsin's offensive line, it's almost an insult to our offensive line and then also who we practice against. He said, we're going to prove, and then he said, no, you know what? We're just going to show the country what we're about tonight.
Urban Meyer and company really pulling out the emotional stops this week, the rivalry uniforms, bringing in LeBron James entered the Skull session with the Buckeye football team. Check that out as LeBron came into the Skull session at St. John Arena to some boos, by the way.
Wow.
Urban has a great respect for that guy for sure. LeBron James, also Gary Anderson, the Wisconsin head coach. But no disputing, Wisconsin has ruled the roost of late in this rivalry. The Buckeyes couldn't go anywhere last season, so the Badgers took the Buckeyes really what they had earned, a spot in the Big Ten title game and beyond. It's been a rivalry game, I think, around here for the last 15 years. Bad blood rising.
I've only been in it for a year, but I can feel it around here because these players know. You know, they talk about the time that we lost to when I think we were number one in the country. Mm-hmm. Facts are facts. They've been to the Rose Bowl, I think, 3 years in a row, and they're the leaders of the Big Ten right now. They're the top dog in the Big Ten.
Indeed, a little bonus take now from this weekend's Varsity Hall of Fame inductee, talking about former Buckeye head coach John Cooper. Coop, what's the key to beating the Badgers?
I think the key is how well our secondary plays. I think our safeties have got to get up and get involved in run support, but at the same time, don't overcommit and get beat on a play-action pass. We're going to need more than a front seven, in my opinion, to stop their running game.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. Let's bring in our guy off the edge, the former Buckeye defensive end, Jimmy Bell. Jimmy, I'm going to let you pontificate a little bit
Wow,
here.
that's a big
LeBron
word.
James is here accompanying the Buckeye football team to some boos. It seems to me he passed on his chance to be a college athlete, but now he wants to live through it a little bit. What's your take on him?
You have to understand this, to my perspective. LeBron James is an Ohio guy. He's from northeast Ohio. That whole Akron, Youngstown era, we bleed this whole thing and what this means. Yeah, so I do think he is taking the opportunity to relive maybe what he didn't have the opportunity. I'm going to tell you this. He may have been booed, and he may have been booed loud, but I bet you that doesn't take away from him soaking up this energy behind us.
To both of you, is that a help to this team or not? Because Urban has said these kids idolize him.
Oh, you know
like it or not,
exactly.
the way he exits.
Absolutely. I think it's a help. I mean, being able to touch someone like a LeBron James that has done what he has done, you know, we understand that he did what he did and how he did it. Not everybody agrees with, but you know what? These guys still idolize him. They love him, and they respect what he brings to the table as far as an athlete.
Absolutely. When I go across the country and speak, I tell people that one of the best examples that we can get is from someone who's doing and living the dream that we want to. Listen, there's over 100 kids on our end that are trying to live their dream. There's a guy right now that is taking a little bit out of his time to say, listen, I lived it. I came from where you came from. You can do the same thing. You can be where I'm at.
You would have advised him a little differently, but bygones be bygones eventually. Fellas, a lot more to come here on the banks of the Olentangy. For Jimmy and Obi, I'm Clay. Let's go back to you.
Thanks a lot, guys. We will indeed check back with you in a few moments. After missing most of the past 3 games with a sprained knee, quarterback Braxton Miller is back in the lineup tonight. Kenny Guyton was the Big Ten Conference Offensive Player of the Week twice in Miller's absence. But Urban Meyer says, let's be clear, now that he's healthy, Miller is the starter.
Yeah, and you want a healthy Braxton Miller. I mean, he just adds so much more of a dimension of a game breaker. I mean, for all the great that Kenny Guyton did, Braxton Miller is going to bring this team to another level tonight. I really believe that. I think that when you see what he's able to do, not just running the ball, but how he's developed as a passer as well. I mean, he's worked a ton in this offseason to develop those passing skills with quarterback coach Tom Herman. I look for Braxton Miller to have a huge night tonight, and I don't really think that you know, they're going to be on the field at the same time. I know Urban has tried to say, you know, Kenny Guyton has earned some playing time. Yeah, he might have earned some playing time, but it's going to be really hard to get that playing time if Braxton Miller comes out and does what Braxton Miller normally does and makes those great moves on the broken plays and turning things that shouldn't be anything good into fantastic moves.
Miller needs just 13 yards this evening to set the new Ohio State quarterback career rushing record, breaking the old mark of 2,081 yards set by Cornelius Green 38 years ago. Matt, like Braxton, Corny had some sweet moves.
Yeah, Cornelius Green was kind of the initial Braxton Miller. I mean, he was in there, and you think about, you know, who he played with Archie Griffin and Pete Johnson, and the fact that he was able to get so many yards with those guys in the backfield along with him just shows you what kind of special athlete Cornelius Green was.
Okay, at the beginning of the football season, Matt's wife, Meredith, posted a Facebook message that she looks forward to seeing her husband again in January. In addition to his expert analysis here on The Fever, Matt also does high school football games on Time Warner Cable, and now he's branched out to another medium. Here's Clay Hall with more on that. Clay.
What are we, the Finkus PR firm here? No, there's a new kid on the sports radio block, and it's really a good place to be when there's a buzz about Buckeye football is Talk Radio. 95.5 The Game includes our own Matt Finkus. You've been on the show, right?
Yeah, I have.
You've been rapping it.
Yeah, I love it. I had a good time.
Well, the former Buckeye defensive tackle and end really talking about something he knows very, very well.
This front seven, they've not really been tested for Ohio State. The guy who worries me is probably the most talented guy on the field in Noah Spence. Noah Spence is built to rush the passer. How is he going to play when Wisconsin lines up a 350-pound tackle and a 270-pound tight end? What's he going to do then? Because he's going to have to play with unbelievable technique and leverage to be able to pull that off.
Finkus teams with Arch Madness to cover the Central Ohio sports beat from 9 to noon weekdays on 95.5 FM.
I think it's just a good mix between the reasoning voice and then the guy who's a fan and kind of needs to be kind of talked off the ledge a little bit and said, you know, well, this is like the quarterback situation at Ohio State. I mean, Matt was like, Archie, slow down. Braxton Miller can do things that other quarterbacks can't do, and I'm all caught up in this, this quarterback deal, and I'm like, Kenny Guyton can do this and that.
That's all good, man.
I hope you're right.
He's going to be okay.
No. I hope you're right.
The F&A show brags they are your first chance to talk Buckeyes every day, and they are recruiting listeners one at a time.
It's just a good fix for Buckeye Nation to get a quick talk on things with Ohio State football.
After a week's worth of radio, Finkus comes to the Football Fever fully informed and ready to rap.
This is a lot of fun. I mean, this is what I love. Love talking sports, love talking football. I mean, this is right in my wheelhouse.
Stick around. It's the F&A show on 95.5 The Game.
All right, by the way, I think Matt Finkus is better on TV because he's done the radio. The dude can ad-lib his tail off. I think that's a great skill. Yes. But let's talk about the topic that was so hot this week, the quarterback thing. Quick take.
Well, you know what? I call I call Kenny Guyton an equal opportunity distributor. Everybody gets the ball with Kenny Guyton, but guess what? Braxton's, I think some magic may come back to him on today.
Braxton, the most electrifying playmaker in the country. Being a great coach means you have the ability to put at one time your best 11 players on the field. If Braxton is 100%, there's no question. Game planning for him could be terror for another team.
Some of the national experts saying Braxton gets right back in the Heisman race if he balls out here tonight.
Yeah,
and yes, he will.
Absolutely.
A lot more to come from the banks of the Olentangy as well. Guys, back to you.
All right, and we're going to stay on the banks of the Olentangy. Bring in Maria Durant now, live via the Subway fan cam. Maria, how amped up are the fans tonight?
I got to tell you, Doug, I can barely hear you because these fans are really pumped for this game. The feeling is electric. Show you this. Look what I found. There's a guy here doing caricatures. He's doing one of me. Now this week, the ladies in our Football 101 clinic, they're learning about penalties. Take a look.
Try as they may, a football team usually has a few penalties a game. Even our beloved Buckeyes. And this week, the ladies from our Football 101 clinic know what a legal motion is, but they want to know more.
Are there any other penalties where they stop the play?
An illegal movement is where two offensive players are in motion at the same time when the ball is snapped. The ref generally calls that play dead. Former Buckeye defensive lineman Matt Finkus says there are a few more reasons the ref will blow the whistle.
Usually offensive penalties, if it's on the offense, before the snap or right at the snap, the play will be blown dead.
Like false starts or delay of game.
Now the defensive penalties, they'll stop if a defender crosses the line and makes contact with another guy. A lot of times they'll blow that dead.
That's called encroachment or offsides. But there are times when a ref won't call the play dead right away during the snap. And for the offense, Finkus says that's a free play.
If he's making contact right as the ball is snapped, that's what the offense calls a free play. So you know that you've got 5 yards as an offense. If someone steps across, you know that you have 5 yards coming. If you throw an interception, they run it back for a touchdown, doesn't matter. They're all going to come back. You're going to get 5 free yards, and you're going to replay the down.
If the team gains a first down, they would have the option to decline the penalty. If not, they can replay the down.
I want to tell you, look who showed up. It is Mecca Don. He is here visiting us tonight. Hey, welcome. It's so good to see you.
I'm back. You can't get rid of me.
It's Ohio State's official rapper. And I want you to mention and show everybody about this new T-shirt here.
Yes. So these are the Juice T-shirts. They're out today, officially, exclusively in the stadium in that Buckeye Corner. Go and get one. And you will be hearing the Juice song today in the stadium. Again, get it on iTunes. And, yeah, we're about to bring the Juice in the stadium. I'm excited.
Sounds great. We're actually going to play the Juice song a little later in our show as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Buckeye fans, you guys are great. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Maria. We will look forward to hearing the Juice coming up a little later in the show. Coming up right after this break, though, Matt Finkus breaks down the Badgers' high-powered running attack. Ohio State and Wisconsin kick it off at Ohio Stadium and live right here on ABC 6, less than 44 minutes from now on the Menards. Countdown to kickoff. Welcome back. Wisconsin running backs Melvin Gordon and James White have combined for more than 1,000 yards in just 4 games this season, as the Badgers are averaging a whopping 350 yards rushing a game. With more on Wisconsin's high-powered run game, here's Matt with this week's Finkus Focus.
Thanks, Doug. And this is what the Buckeye defense is going to have to stop if they're going to be successful tonight. This is the Wisconsin zone running play. You're going to see this team bring down an extra safety in the box. You'll probably see the Buckeyes doing that as well tonight. And the Wisconsin zone running play, you're going to have these guys just blocking an area. They do this very well. So all these guys are just kind of trying to block an area, get a hat on a hat, as they say, and try to get upfield and create a seam for the running back to run through. So Melvin Gordon here is going to take the ball and just try to find a seam somewhere in here as this shakes out. Now, as we see, here comes the safety drop down in the box. There they go. Everyone's off and running. Now, here's a big crucial part of this. They're going to create this seam right here. This offensive lineman is going to wall his defender out. This offensive lineman is walling his defender in. The running back is going to see this seam. Good job right here by the tight end getting up on that safety and creating another block at the second level. And he's going to run right through that seam right there. Now, a little bit more on the running back here. Look where his head's going here. Looking outside. He's looking like he's going to run outside here. That's going to influence this safety to come down. The wide receiver is going to block him out. Then at the last second, running back's going to cut back inside, break a tackle, and go for a touchdown. This is going to be crucial. Again, tackling is important. Getting off blocks is important. The Buckeyes are going to have to stop this play a number of times tonight if they're going to be successful, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. It is a beautiful night for the Buckeyes' Big Ten opener against Wisconsin. How are the fans at Ohio Stadium enjoying these near-perfect temperatures? Let's join ABC6 Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly with the OSU Wexner Medical Center game day forecast. Bill.
I will tell you what, guys, it is an absolutely stunning evening. You're talking about that crowd. You know, nighttime games, as you well know, are going to draw out more people anyway, just because it's prime time and whatnot. But on a night like this, that sun has now gone down officially just a couple of minutes ago. We got some nice blue sky. Hey, how we doing? Good to see you. Very comfortable temperatures out here. You can see that I and everybody, for the most part, in short sleeve shirts. You got shorts going on. It's a very slight chance that you're going to need a sweatshirt or anything like that. It is very, very comfortable out here tonight. We're going to continue to see these comfortable temperatures coming up in just a few minutes. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but I will tell you, beautiful evening to be outdoors. We'll send it to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill. You can see Bill's forecast each weeknight right here on ABC6. Time to reveal our weekly winner in the Football Fever You Pick'em contest. Congratulations to Vicky Tuckey, who correctly picked 14 out of 15 games to win a $50 American Express gift card from our friends at Roush Honda. You have a chance to win every week. Just go to abc6onyourside.com, enter the keyword Football Fever, and click on the You Pick'em contest. Straight ahead on the Football Fever, their friends off the field, but how will they be on the turf tonight? A look inside a friendly rivalry brewing between the Buckeyes and the Badgers coaches who worked together a few years back. Welcome back. Urban Meyer won't miss former Wisconsin head coach Brett Bielema, who's now at Arkansas.
Will anyone really miss him? I don't think so.
Not in Columbus. After Bielema accused Meyer of illegal recruiting, as Nathan Baker tells us, Meyer's relationship with the Badgers' new head coach, well, it's a complete 180.
A friendly rivalry begins tonight between former colleagues and friends, Urban Meyer and Wisconsin coach Gary Anderson.
Urban's a good friend. I consider him a good friend. Who knows, maybe he doesn't consider me a good friend.
Meyer hired Anderson to coach his defensive line at Utah the year the Utes went 15-0. Anderson's in his first year with the Badgers, and this will be the first time the friends will ever face off.
I think we both have an extreme passion, which is probably one of our nemesises that we both have, is we're maybe a little too passionate at times for what we do.
Anderson also knows Urban's already built the Buckeyes into a title contender.
Ohio State has every opportunity to be number one, just as good opportunity as anybody does. From what they did last year, the way they carried themselves, the way they won games, and the way they continue to do that.
The Buckeyes are the favorites, but Wisconsin's the three-time reigning Big Ten champs and will have no problem getting amped for tonight.
And they're a big-time team, one of the top teams in the nation, but it doesn't really change anything. We prepare each week as hard as we can.
Everyone wants to beat Ohio State, and they understand that, so that's probably why they play well, because they know, they're the boy that everyone's trying to bring down.
Wisconsin's trying to keep this primetime showdown in perspective.
This is far from a championship game, and this game probably will not it'll just be one game in the conference race at the end.
We'll see about that. With Wisconsin, I'm Nathan Baker for the Football Fever.
All right, Nathan, so that's the story on the coaches. How do the players in tonight's game stack up? Ben Buchanan is back with the Dodge Ram matchup.
All right, Buckeye fans, this is literally as good as it gets in college football. It's Big Ten smash mouth football, talking about our perfect Ohio State Buckeyes versus the 3-1, very talented Wisconsin Badgers. I had a chance to study them this week. Very talented football team. Talking some offense, defense, special teams, coaching staff analysis, as well as a final prediction here on The Football Fever. So let's take a look at the board. My mantra for the night is the numbers don't lie. When you talk about numbers, you have to talk about Ohio State's offense. 52.5 points per game. That's good enough for first in the Big Ten. That's right. We have the best scoring offense in the Big Ten. Talking about lighting up the scoreboard. Braxton Miller knows a thing or two about lighting up the scoreboard. He's back. He's healthy tonight. Really excited to see what number 5 can do. Jordan Hall has done a phenomenal job this year, too. He leads the Big Ten in individual scoring with 50 points. That's a very underrated stat. Very good offense for us. Wisconsin does own the third-ranked rushing attack in the country. Very good. When it comes down to it, it's all about points with offense. We're superior in that angle. You look at the defense, I have to actually pick Wisconsin. 10.5 points per game. That's all that they're letting up thus far. They have 2 shutouts through 4 games. Very impressive. Number 44, Chris Borland, is their star. He's their senior. 30 tackles on the year. Very good athlete. This is a fast, savvy defense. I actually have to give the edge to the Wisconsin defense in this regard. Talk about the special units. I really like the way that Philly Brown, number 10, is playing. He took one to the house last year. That's right, 6 points on a punt return. Up in Camp Randall, I was on that sideline. We went absolutely wild. He can provide that game-changing ability that I think we're looking for on the special units. We've seen a lot of steadiness. I want to see that electricity. I think Corey Philly Brown can provide that tonight. Look for a big game for him returning kicks. Talking about the coaching staff, I have to pick Urban Meyer. It's going to be hard for me to pick against Coach Meyer. He owns the nation's longest winning streak. Gary Anderson on the other side of the ball is 3-1. They do have a relationship dating back to their Utah days. I don't see the young guy unseating the master. I think we have the best coaching staff in Columbus. I really like what Coach Meyer is doing with his team here at Ohio State. Talking about the final prediction, I know what's happening right now. Coach is calling the guys up in the locker room. They're going to break it down, showtime on 3. I think it's going to be a big show out in the Horseshoe tonight. I'm going to pick 34 for Ohio State, 20 for the Wisconsin Badgers. It's going to be a great win for Ohio State. Primetime Big Ten matchup in the Horseshoe, guys. I'm Ben Buchanan, and that was your Dodge Ram matchup.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Playing off of one of Urban Meyer's favorite mantras, bring the juice. There's an official anthem for the 2013 Buckeye football team, and it was created by a former Ohio State football player. Maria Durant visits with the man behind the juice when we come back.
If I can't do it, baby, no one can. 'Cause it's the love of the thrill and it's the thrill of the chase. Everybody better get up on their mark. Get set, let's go. If you're down for the chase, then I think that it's crucial to know. If you're chasing gold, if you want that shine, you want that gold. No bronze, no silver, only gold. Gotta work all night, gotta pay that work. This road so cold, it's so cutthroat. Chase for it all while avoiding defeat. Never gonna have, but we always gonna seek. Study my city, my enter the streets. Know your personnel, so the KYP. Call me the rock if I'm filling the lane. Started the song and I finished the game. Notice the face and they notice the frame. Trying to make sure they remember the name. Wait, been a beast since birth and it's all like work. Pretty soon you'll adjust to me. I'm a buck, so you know that I'm used to a life that's filled with luxury. Wasn't given anything.
And this is what they're chasing. The Coach's Trophy, to be presented to this year's national champion in Pasadena, California. The trophy making an appearance in our Football Fever studio this week, and it will be on the field for tonight's Ohio State-Wisconsin game coming up right here on ABC6. Speaking of the coaches, you'll see both Ohio State and Wisconsin coaches wearing a special patch on their shirts tonight. It's part of the Coach to Cure MD campaign. This is the 6th year of the partnership, which has raised more than $1 million in donations since 2008 for the fight against muscular dystrophy. Several colleges are conducting research projects, including Ohio State. Ohio State's 1993 Big Ten championship team will be honored between the first and second quarters tonight. Clay, here's a trivia question for you. Among the true freshmen on that team, which one logged the most playing time?
In the 93 team. Well, all these guys played on the 93 team. Maybe they'll come up with the answer. Was it Jimmy Bell? Was it me?
The
No.
freshman?
Most playing
Freshman
time
with
for
the
a
most
true
time.
freshman.
Most playing time for a true
Most
freshman.
playing time for
All right, I'll make it easy on you guys.
I say
he wasn't here.
Matt Finkes or Jason Gwynn, one or the other.
There you go, Matt Finkes. Matt Finkes, the guy sitting right here.
And I bet that was his own stat that he came up with.
Yes.
All right, well, good times indeed for the 1993 bunch. A big reunion last night. You'll be honored. All these guys played in 1993. You'll be honored between the first and second quarters. Brett Powers, great to have you back.
Thank you, Clay.
First game in the shoe in 7 years. He's now an orthopedist in Huntington Beach, California.
That's right.
But he is the 1993 version of Kenny Guyton, coming on, for, as Jimmy put it, for the Golden Boy, Bobby Hoying, and rescuing the Bucks in that season. Let's go back to Michigan State, because that's what I found. Some great vintage. You with a big strike to Joey Galloway in that ball game to rally the Buckeyes.
Well, that was a great game for all of us. And, you know, that 93 season was really special to all of us. It was a good year for the Buckeyes to really get back on the map. And I'm really proud to be a part of that and that drive that we put together late in the fourth quarter to win that ball game. Really kind of set us apart and really kind of made that season special and securing that Big Ten championship.
Let me ask you quickly, what was it like to play that role? To come out of the bullpen sometimes cold, and what's the psyche of that relief pitcher, that backup quarterback?
Well, you know, I think that Kenny Guyton relates to this because this guy is prepared himself, just like for every game, to play that as a starter's role. And so when your number's called, it's next number up.
Yeah.
And you need to be ready to go. Right. And so that's how I felt, and I didn't feel any extra pressure coming in cold because I felt prepared going into it every week in practice and did my preparation, do your studying, your schoolwork. You know, preparation is always the key to these games and game plan.
Yeah. But Brett has always just been this conservative, cool guy. I mean, you're so conservative that you only need one T to spell Brett. There's only one T in your Brett, isn't it?
That's right. That's right.
You actually said that you threw a pick in the first time your experience in the horseshoe. You threw an interception and you got booed. What is the difference between coming from the conference out in Arizona, ASU, to coming to the Big Ten?
Right. Well, it's a big difference. You know, the Pac-10 at the time was, you know, they were still competitive because Washington came off the national championship in 1992, and they were a strong team. It's a good conference, but the tradition and what goes on here, the heritage and the energy that comes into Ohio Stadium week after week is unprecedented. There's nothing like it in the country. I'll tell you this, there's nothing like it.
All right, the cardiac kid. There you go. Brett Powers, thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your trip back, and hopefully you bring us some good luck here tonight. Brett Powers, the former Buckeye quarterback from 1993. Guys, back to you.
Hey, guys, my wife accurately accuses me of never throwing out anything. There it is, the Big Ten 1993 Big Ten football championship shirt. It's an extra large. I've never worn it. I'm giving it to you.
Well, now that I've lost some weight, I can probably
There you go.
I
You don't need a double X.
I can squeeze into that now.
Last week's 76-point win over Florida A&M didn't impress the nation's coaches too much. Here's the coaches poll brought to you by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. And it's all the same. And in the top 5, Alabama, number 1, followed by Oregon, Ohio State, Clemson, and Stanford. 3 other Big Ten teams ranked in the top 25, Northwestern at number 16, followed by Michigan, which survived another scare last week against Connecticut. Wisconsin re-enters the poll at number 24, and Michigan State drops out after losing to Notre Dame. Well, the 2013 Buckeyes have an official anthem this season, and Maria Durant is with the former Buckeye football player who created it. Maria.
Well, I got to tell you, these Buckeye fans are certainly ready for a big Buckeye win. Everyone is excited. They cannot wait to get into the shoe there tonight. Listen to them go. They are pumped for this big game. Some of them already cleaning up and trying to get into that stadium there tonight. And I got to tell you, once you get into the stadium, tonight you'll hear a special song. It's called Juice, the official song for OSU.
He goes by Mecca Don, one of the newest up-and-coming hip-hop artists to hit the airwaves. And this rising sensation is all smiles as I find out why this former OSU wide receiver left a lucrative attorney's job in New York to pursue a shot in the dicey world of music.
Music has always been my passion. And, you know, I was in a band when I was in high school, and even before that I was writing raps when I was like 5 years old and breakdancing for people in the neighborhood when I was 4.
His career is now in full swing. His music is licensed with ESPN and now with the Ohio State University. Former OSU President Gordon Gee persuaded Mecca to write this Buckeye song, Let's Go OHIO. And now a new song called Juice.
Bring the juice is Urban Meyer's, you know, phrase that he uses, and basically saying, you know, who's got the energy, who's pumped up, who's ready to go.
A song he says not only captures a new Buckeye era, but lets him relive his glory days.
I run up in the shoe, I see 100,000.
Mecca's career continues to surge. He's now branching out into retail. Licensed OSU t-shirts that will be released for the first time this weekend. He says everything is falling into place.
This was the dream, so, you know, I feel like I'm kind of living it right now.
And keeping strong ties to his hometown, where his family knows him as...
First name is spelled C-H-U-K-W-U-E-M-E-K-A. A lot to remember when I was a kid, right? Last name is O-N-Y-E-J-E-K-W-E. And that's Nigerian. It means thank God, actually. Yeah. And my last name means miracle, so together it means thank God for a miracle.
The miracle he says he's living.
Now everybody watching like they
I gotta tell you, what a nice guy, and certainly an inspiring story to give it all up and live out your dream. He certainly is doing that right now. And hey, if your dream is to have us tailgate with you, well, it's simple. All you gotta do is log on to our website and enter our Subway tailgate contest, and we may come to your house and put you on TV and celebrate a Buckeye win tailgating. So real easy to do. And I gotta tell you, everybody here tonight really can't wait for those Buckeyes to start playing. OH, guys! Go Buckeyes! We'll see ya.
I love our fans.
Yes. Thank you, Maria. Each week we feature your comments on the Football Fever via Facebook and Twitter. Ben Buchanan rejoins us now from the Social Media Center. Ben.
Thanks, Doug. All right, Buckeye fans, we're talking some social media. It's prime time in the Horseshoe. Very exciting. We asked all of you the question tonight. Can the Buckeyes hold Wisconsin running back Melvin Gordon to under 100 yards rushing? It's obviously going to be a tough task. Let's take a listen. David says, if the Bucs stop the run, they win big. OHIO. Great point, David, obviously. Michael says, no, young defense won't be able to stop him, but the Buckeyes will still celebrate another victory. Obviously, talking about an offensive shootout, I think we could see that. There are some good defenses at play, though, tonight, so good point there, Michael. Joe says, yes, I think with Washington back, Noah Spence, and Joey Bosa, we won't have any trouble. We're going to need some of those young guys to step up. I'm confident those are going to be some playmakers for us. It's exciting, guys. It's prime time in the Horseshoe. I wish I was out there. Gosh. It's social media. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Ben. We want to hear from you on the Football Fever. You can tweet us at the Fever, ABC6, with the hashtag TFF or Buckeyes, or post your comment on Facebook at facebook.com/WSYXABC6. And if we use your comment on the air, you'll get an Ohio State fan mug. It's a can and bottle cooler, mug, and desk caddy all in one. There it is. So send us your questions right on cue. Let's check back with Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly, who found some Buckeye fans enjoying tonight's great weather. Bill?
Well, guys, I'll tell you what, a beautiful evening out here tonight. First, let me just take you to the maps and show you what's happening. Then we're going to talk about this pig that we have right here behind me on the grill. We're looking at about 75 degrees here for kickoff. It's very comfortable. Kickoff, of course, as you know, in 15 minutes. I'm in a T-shirt, shorts, totally comfortable. Maybe a light sweatshirt by the time the game ends, but all in, things are looking great. I mean, is this great football weather, Don, or what?
Football weather, absolutely.
So we're talking to Don, and you guys have kind of devoured the pig here, but every year you cook an entire pig. Why do you guys do this?
It's for our company. We bring our whole company down here, and the pig is kind of symbolic of all the progress we've made for the year.
And you do this once a year. What kind of preparation goes into something like this?
This pig took 10 hours to cook in here, and you bring it in and you slap it on the grill, turn it up, and 10 hours later you eat it.
So what time did you guys get out here early to set everything up?
8 o'clock this morning.
And how was it?
It was cold, but it was sunny and nice.
Nice. And at the end of the day, how was the pig?
The pig was awesome. Yeah, it's always good, always high quality.
And last but not least, of course, what's your prediction tonight on the game?
27-17 Buckeyes.
There we go. OH. All right, guys, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Time now for the Toyota Toss-Up, where our Football Fever analysts debate some of the hot topics of the week. As always, we have Matt Finkus and Ben Buchanan here in the studio. And we'll start with Obi Stillwell and Jimmy Bell from outside Ohio Stadium. Guys, Wisconsin is averaging 350 yards rushing a game. Is there any way the Badgers get that much tonight, Obi and Jimmy?
Well, actually, I think they will. That's what they're doing. They're back to old school Wisconsin football. They're averaging 350. I think they're going to get at least 200 yards today. I do believe that.
You know what? I would disagree with that. I don't believe that they can get that much yardage. I think that Ohio State this year a little more mature than they were. Even last time Wisconsin came into the horseshoe, I think that front seven is ready to prove a point today.
I hope so.
All right, Matt and Ben, Ohio State is averaging 311 yards rushing a game. Can they get that many against the stout Wisconsin defense tonight?
I don't think so. I think that, if they can get somewhere between 150 and 200 yards rushing, I think it's going to be a very good night. I think Carlos Hyde is going to be able to carry the load for him. But I think that where Wisconsin is kind of lacking is in the defensive secondary. I think that's where we need to take advantage of.
That's a good point. They do have a very good defense. I mean, you heard it earlier, 10.5 points per game. They have 2 shutouts through 4, a very formidable defense. It's going to be a challenge, but with Braxton Miller back, you never know, man.
Never know. Never know.
All right, guys, as Ben accurately pointed out, Braxton is back after missing 2 games. Will the Buckeyes utilize both of their quarterbacks in this game?
No. No, Clark Kent is no longer in the booth, and Braxton Miller has to be Superman tonight. Kenny has done a great job, and he will be available if necessary, but this will be Superman's Braxton Miller show tonight.
You know what? I totally agree with you. I don't believe there's going to be a 2-quarterback system tonight. There's a lot riding on this game tonight, and I think focus and leadership is paramount. I think you're going with Braxton Miller all the way. Kenny Guyton, obviously, if he's needed, but Braxton, he holds the key to the victory today.
Absolutely.
All right, this question for all 4 guys. Who's your impact player tonight? Matt and Ben, we start with you.
Matt, for me, it's Philly Brown. I mean, you're going to see him on the offensive side of the ball. You're going to see him in the special units. I said it earlier. I think he can provide that electrifying ability we're looking for in the special units. He housed one last year at Camp Randall. A big punt return would be awesome for them.
It would. I think special teams is going to play a big role, but my guy is going to be Curtis Grant. Yeah. He's got to step up. We've been hearing about him for years now. 3rd year in the system. All the physical potential in the world, he's got to step up and make tackles tonight because they're going to run downhill right at him.
Absolutely.
Obi and Jimmy, your impact player tonight?
Well, honestly, it was going to be the defensive line. I'm a defensive line guy, but Coach Coop is kind of swayed me a little bit. I think it's going to be Ryan Shazier. There was a stat that I heard today that said we have no one in the top 30 in the Big Ten in tackles. Ryan Shazier is actually 30. We've never had anyone that high. Ryan is going to have to clog up the middle and provide that leadership you were talking about to galvanize everyone to stop that running game.
My impact player for tonight is going to be Braxton Miller. I know that there's been a lot of rumors about is he able to take some hits? Is he durable enough? I think there's going to be a lot of question marks tonight for Braxton, and he needs to answer them.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. The keys to the game are coming up on The Football Fever, but first, now we're going to hear from the best damn band in the land. Kickoff fast approaching at Ohio Stadium, and here on ABC 6, the Buckeyes battle the Badgers. Less than 9 minutes from now on the Menards countdown to kickoff. And let's head right back outside Ohio Stadium, bring in Clay and Obi with the Greater Columbus Kia Retailers keys to the game. Guys?
Doug, we got him, brother. We got him. No question about that. Number 1, gang tackle Gordon. Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, the super sophomore. He's 624 yards. We're going to, all 11 Silver Bullets are going to have to get to the ball and gang tackle him. That super sophomore has not played in the horseshoe, though. I think that's going to be a big difference.
He leads the country, by the way, in rushing.
Yes,
Number 2, safety security. Coop was talking about this yesterday.
Yes, he was. Bryant and Roby on that safety, they're going to have to make sure that the house is locked down, nothing gets past them. That's going to be a big key.
And got their number. Do we have their number? We're on a little roll against Wisconsin.
Yeah, you know what? We are on a roll with Wisconsin, but the last time, there's been times that, there's been 3 times that we have been 5, ranked in the top 5, and Wisconsin has beat us during those times. So this is a big time. This is a big game. I think we'll pull it off, though.
And a bonus edition.
Oh, Dancing with the Stars.
There
you know
you
what? The quarterback touchdown tango. If Coach Urban Meyer can land this one, the Buckeyes not only win, but they win big.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, guys. We're going to come back with our final thoughts right after this short timeout. Ohio State and Wisconsin on a beautiful night in Columbus. The kickoff is coming up here on ABC 6. Let's send it back out to Clay and Obi for their final thoughts. Guys?
Doug, thanks very much. There's a couple of things here. I'm a believer in Bucky running the football. I'm not a believer in Bucky stopping Ohio State. Come on. They've beaten Tennessee Tech and UMass. It really boils down to, can Ohio State stop the Wisconsin running game? That's it for me. If they do that, they'll win the football game. Jimmy?
I 100% agree. Listen, the offense is rolling. They're on point. They're confident. They know what they're trying to do. I remember back in '97, when Tavian Banks was leading the nation in rushing. We were studying him all week. It was our first Big Ten game, and he looked incredible. And we're thinking, how are we going to stop him? Well, you know what? He came in here, he came up against some Silver Bullets, and he left here with 47 yards rushing, and his whole career hadn't been the same. So I'm expecting us to do the same thing when it comes to the Badgers.
Quickly.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? The last win in the shoe with Wisconsin, I predicted it. Don't forget that. This year, tonight, I would not be surprised if we win by more than 20 points.
All right, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot. The rivalry uniforms, you have yours from 2 years ago?
This is from last year, actually. This is the 2012 Michigan game. We wore them last year. Very fancy. We got the little, the black lettering. Gosh, guys, it's going to be a good game. I'm excited.
Yeah, fans are amped up. We're amped up. You're amped up. That'll do it for the football fever. The Buckeyes and the Badgers kick it off just moments from now right here on ABC 6. Please join us right after the game for the Football Fever post-game show. We'll have reaction for the Buckeye players and head coach Urban Meyer. All the highlights. Until then, enjoy the game, everybody.